There are 4 reports that can be generated within the Secure module in Augmentt. You have the security posture, the MFA report, the threat report, and the summary report. In this training series, we're going to go over each report in depth. So let's get started with the threat report. The threat report is actually a free tool. You can generate this report for customers without assigning a single Augmentt license. The idea behind this report is to use it as a prospecting tool, to use it as a way to show the client why you should be securing Microsoft for them. With the threat report, you can show the customer how many threats were detected in their environment within a set period of time. Now, for this demo, we're doing a month, but you could do 2 or 3 months worth of data. The report shows how many threats were detected in their environment, where those threats came from on a map, their Microsoft identity and secure scores. Now, most of the time, these scores are going to be pretty low with prospects. Now, one thing customers typically do not know is how hard it is to bring up Microsoft scores. We typically tell people that if you can raise a secure score to 80%, that's about the equivalent of a 100% without having to spend a lot of money on specialty licenses within Microsoft and really locking down the account. So you can use this section of the report as a way to show the client how you can bring their scores up, but also to explain to a client how they will not be at 100%. And then we have the top at-risk accounts and the top risk detections. Now, a lot of times you're going to see a lot of stuff in here that is from where they've been doing work within their Microsoft portal, but you may also get risky sign-ins on this list. And the top 5 at-risk accounts, most of the time, will have either one of the people in the room that you're talking to, a decision maker, or it'll have an administrator, because a lot of times when there are hacking attempts, those attempts are being done on the more important accounts. It really helps out whenever you're trying to make a sale, when the person making that decision sees their name on this risk as an at-risk account. And then typically after seeing the threats that were detected and seeing the at-risk accounts, they want to see the details. And now you can show them the details in the risk detections. This is the meat and potatoes. This is the gossip. This is what they want to see. This is the who, what, when, and where of the threat report. This shows what the threats were that were detected, which user accounts these threats were detected on, where these sign-in attempts came from, the severity level, and even when these threats occurred. Now, depending on who you're talking to, sometimes this section of the report isn't as big of a deal. If you're talking to an executive, a lot of times they just want to see the high-level information. They don't need to see the details. But then if you're talking to someone more technical, they're going to want to see this information. And you can also use this as a way to see what you'll be setting up for the client in the future. For example, in this report, there are a lot of successful sign-ins from India and Saudi Arabia and Poland. Well, they have an employee in Poland, so it makes sense to have these successful sign-ins in Poland. So now I know I need to add Poland as an operating country later on. And then the report also shows MFA status. It shows all of the accounts that do not have MFA set up. It shows their role in the company. It shows their license type that's been assigned. So if you get an administrator on this list, being able to show the client that they have admins that don't have MFA and what type of risk that is, that's a huge detail that can help out with this report. And then last but not least, we show inactive accounts. Now, the reason we include inactive accounts on this report is because inactive accounts can be used as kind of a gateway into the environment, as kind of a back door. A lot of times those inactive accounts aren't being paid attention to. Maybe the sign-in hasn't been blocked. So being able to identify those inactive accounts and when the last time they logged in is a great way to show a client why you should be securing Microsoft for them. Now, one thing to note on the inactive account section of this report is it does require a P2 license from Microsoft to be 100% accurate. So if you do generate this report and find that the inactive accounts is not right, maybe don't share that part of the report with the client. Just skip over that section. Or you can explain to the customer that the reason that the inactive accounts is not accurate is because they don't have a P2, and you can use that as an opportunity to upsell them a P2 license. So hopefully after the prospect sees the threat report, they say, yes, we want to be more secure. They want to sign on for your security services. Then you assign your Augmentt licenses. That opens up the rest of the product, and now you can get to work on locking down their environment. The customer says no. Like I said before, this is a free report, no big deal. Move on to the next prospect. The threat report can be exported in the top right corner. You can do a one-time export, or you can schedule the threat report. Now, the threat report is really designed to be a one-time report, but it can go out on a daily, weekly, monthly, or quarterly schedule. You can choose who to send it to via email, even upload your own logo to the Augmentt portal to make sure that it has your own branding on the report before sending it to the client.